We would like to nominate American Alexander Graham Bell. He was a scientific and speech therapist. In 1877, Alexander Graham Bell, who was made possible transmitting and receiving human voice with all its features through the invention of telephone. After that, there were many skeptical people with respect to the invention. Before the invention of telephone, in 1845, Charles Babbage had introduced the idea about using the vibration of the voice on a floppy disk. Moving on still, the world continues speculating about the invention of phone, because it has been attributed in 2002 to the Italian patent immigrant named Antonio Meucci, and today there are doubts in the patent of this invention. However, for many years has been formally recognized as the American inventor Alexander. And nowadays, the telephone is a device that is used to transmit and receive sound between people. It has become one of the most common household items. The telephone invention means that resulted in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. The first telephone appeared with the capacity to transmit and receive the human voice. In that time, the telephone didn't have impact because that telephone was slow and it didn't cover all places as lanes, mountains, places, so far the towns or cities. The communication was so necessary and important through letters, telegraph, and letters in bottles. All this has made the communication possible, listen other people without necessity to be face-to-face, communicate as an emergency or find relatives distant. The telephone has changed to receive a message or important information. It changed the way to carry the communication someplace. The telephone's influence has a great impact in our society, and also the telephone has an access more people in the world due to constantly increase.
On the other hand, is a available mechanism of rotatory disk with 10 digits that has created a mint between the most customers and users that use the telephone worldwide. Likewise, the telephone service is growing up inside the big cities. It has created a habit in families, companies, and jobs. The telephone gave up ago the telegraph to connection and speed in places far. In 1983, the mobile telephone was an alternative to wireless telephony, so the technology had a big acceptance in that time when there was more technology. Without them, the advance with telephones, the third generation probably won't exist actually. So, there were two generations before third. The first generation appeared in 1979. It had transference between cells, even if a few capacity. The second generation arrived in 1990 by Motorola Company. It was characterized to be digital. It was more used in Japan. Finally, we find the third generation is characterized to have voice convergence that is with wireless access and internet. It started to operate in 2001 in Japan. We found interesting because the telephone was important to give information before. Now it's a hobby in teenagers, young people, and adults. It is a hobby because we call our family, friends, the boss, etc. We can write a letter or a message and send it. We can take pictures, film people, images, and sounds. Also, we can see other people through a camera without using a computer or a laptop, because the telephone has had several modifications through the years. For example, we can enjoy with a mobile phones, wireless phone that allow us easy way to communicate, and also the telephone gave us a new view to the technology.
Spinning TV.